This video is to all the parents out there. If you are a strict parent, and a lot of them don't think that they are, but they're actually the strict ones. If you're micromanaging your child and, honestly want the best for them and want to make sure that they're safe and healthy and okay, but you keep them in a box and don't want them to do certain things. Like you don't want them to date at a certain age, or you don't want them to hang out with certain people or go to a certain club or anything like that. And you're trying to find every way to make sure that they don't enforce boundaries, strict schedules and curfews in order to prevent them from doing that thing you don't want them to do. And you are constantly hounding them and saying you can't do this, you're not allowed. I want you to realize that doing this they're gonna find a way. They're always gonna find a way. And if you tell the child that they can't do something, they're gonna want to do it more. So what's the point of trying to control them? Because that's what it's gonna feel like for them, that you're trying to control them and prevent them from doing that thing. And that's just gonna make them want to go and seek it more and do it more, And I hate how this happens, because the parent thinks that they're they want the best for their child, and they do, but they're not going about it the right way. And then in turn, it seems like the child starts to rebel, right? And then these are the kind of kids that start hanging out with the wrong people and the bad influences and start doing the wrong things, and it's actually doing the thing that you don't want them to do, and it actually makes them turn out worse. So then when they become rebellious and they start, falling down the wrong path and hanging out with the wrong people, they become, as a result, depressed and, lost in life, loss of identity. And it's funny because then when they grow older, everybody else blames the child. Oh, such a problem child. Oh, they're just they're the black sheep. They're so crazy. And it kind of hurts me, because then the parents are, walking away hands-free. They didn't even do anything. And everyone's pointing fingers at the child, right? And not even looking at how they were brought up and how they just felt so secluded, and not taking into account the child there. And the parents are viewed as the saviors. They were so great, but behind closed doors, they were probably horrible, and it was a very dysfunctional household. And then the child gets blamed, and that further perpetuates the problem. And then they grow up to just have resentment towards their family. You know what I mean? So, just thinking about it, and to go about this, you probably just gotta be more open. You can communicate why you don't want them to do that thing all you want, and make it clear, calm, compassionate, but that's not going to stop them from doing it. Each person has their own autonomy, right? If they want to do something, they're going to do it regardless of age. You can't force anyone to not do something, even if it's bad, right? And that's the sad part, because we don't want our children to fail. We don't want our children to get hurt or anything like that. But it's also a learning lesson. And I didn't grow up with strict parents, right? And I would say that if I did, it would probably be pretty bad. And I turned out okay, because my parents were open and they just wanted me to grow and learn and, do things for myself. So I really appreciate that. And I felt like I could trust them and open up to them about anything, because they weren't going to come back at me you're so dumb, or no, you should be doing that at your age. Compassion is the key. So keep that in mind, parents, right? As we pave the way for future generations, let's, take a step back, loosen up a little.